Good morning, televiewers of Mamida Prime Television. Thank you so much for joining us once again on the very first edition of the program, The Brief, which is always dedicated to the review of striking headlines in the papers. On today's edition of the program, we shall be digging several layers beneath some of the major headlines, especially the assassination of journalist Martine Ezogo. We are told that some top officials of the Security Intelligence Service of the country have been arrested and detained in connection to the said assassination. We shall equally talk about what is happening over there in the Noon division of the West region of Cameroon, where Tika-Bamon clash degenerates into something else. We are told that several houses have been burnt in Magba over there in Noon division of the West region of Cameroon. We shall dwell on that this morning. Reactions of some citizens, as the newspapers are telling us this morning, are not leaving out the Anglophone crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. The Coalition for Federalists and Activists, they have endorsed the Canadian Peace Trust. We shall also talk about that this morning in the program. Gwladys Bomotonguina is here. Let's have the headlines in the French language newspapers. Bonjour Gwladys.
Bonjour Lasha. Bonjour à vous fidèles téléspectateurs de My Media Prime Télévision. Et c'est un plaisir de vous retrouver pour cette première édition de Débrief, votre émission bilingue de revue de presse. Alors ce matin, nous allons débuter avec le journal Le Jour. Le journal Le Jour qui nous plonge au cœur de la vie chère au Cameroun. Et comme conséquence évoquée en ce jour, la hausse du prix du carburant. C'est du moins l'information parue ce matin par le journal Le Jour. Les détails sont en page 2 jusqu'à 3 de cette édition. En page 5, le journal nous parle d'un drame à Tian, à la falaise de Tian. 4 morts à la falaise de Tian. C'est l'information ce matin par le journal Le Jour et les détails sont en page 5 de cette édition. Mesdames, Messieurs, nous poursuivons avec Mutation Quotidien. Mutation Quotidien ce matin parle en grand titre de l'assassinat de Martinez Zogo, les révélations de Arnaud Forgard. C'est ici dans cette édition de Mutation Quotidien. En effet, le responsable du bureau d'investigation du Reporters sans frontières, ce journaliste fait donc des révélations sur l'enquête en cours de Martinez Zogo qu'il qualifie de crime d'État. Les détails sont en page 5 de Mutation Quotidien ce matin. En page 4, le journal nous parle de transport urbain au Cameroun vers une hausse de prix de taxi. C'est la question posée ce matin par le journal Le Mutation. Nous clôturons avec l'œil du Sahel. Mesdames, Messieurs, l'œil du Sahel nous amène à Koza. Boko Haram fait 4 morts à Moudzikar. C'est l'information ce matin de l'œil du Sahel. Les détails sont en page 2 de cette édition. En page 5, le journal nous parle de l'Agdo. Une arme de guerre saisie donc à Gouna. C'est l'information ce matin parue, mesdames, messieurs, toujours dans le même journal à sa page 7. Le journal nous parle d'accès à l'eau. Un gap de 6018 ouvrages hydroélectriques comblés donc dans la région du Nord au Cameroun. Mesdames, messieurs, voilà pour vos titres ce matin en langue française. Place à la découverte de ces titres en langue anglaise. Et c'est avec toi, Lasha.
Thank you, Gwladys Bomotonguina. Thank you to televiewers of Mamida Prime Television for staying tuned this morning. We kickstart with the Lone English Daily, the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post this morning is taking us to the Noon division of the West region to talk about this clash between Bamon and Tika. We are told that Bamon-Tika clash degenerates. Of course, Magba Palace invaded, partially burned. Cameroon flag brought down. Traditional rulers' car set ablaze. 3 Tikas kidnapped, as the paper tells us. West Regional Governor Awafonka Augustine on firefighting mission to restore order in Magba subdivision in the Noon division of the West region. Get full details in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. And the Guardian Post this morning is taking us to Kumba Meme division of the Southwest region to talk about Bafu clan that has staged a protest against Bakundu overbearing domination. Members of the Bafo tribe in Kumba, Meme division of the southwest region of Cameroon, Sunday, February 4, staged a protest march against what the term overbearing domination by the Bakundu tribe. The Bafo indigenes marched across major streets of Kumba carrying placards calling on the powers that be to come to their rescue. Get full details on page 3 of this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. On to this other newspaper, Newswatch this morning is telling us that ahead of March 12 senatorial elections in Cameroon, CPDM set to win in 2 regions before the race. Get full details on the 2 regions that CPDM is the lone political party running in this edition of the said newspaper. Still talking about other issues this time around, and former defense minister Alain Egame Bengo slammed 30 years in jail. Wife and 3 other close aides gets sentences as the paper, or heavy sentences, as Newswatch is telling us this morning. Transporters more fare increase as fuel prices hike. This morning, the paper is digging further to tell us that transporters' trade unions are deeply considering an increase in fares following the recent increase in fuel prices that went into effect on Wednesday, February 1, 2023. In a letter to the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph Diomgute, over 20 route transporters unions have said the government took the decision without consulting them following a meeting in Yaoundé, a day after the new prices went into effect. The unionists agree that fares should be increased to meet additional costs brought about by the new fuel prices. According to the decision, they are suggesting an increase from 250 francs to 300 francs as taxi fare during the day, and from 300 francs CFA to 400 francs at night. They have also urged the government to reduce the insurance fees, curb the sale of illicit fuel, and suppress all new taxes in the transport sector. We leave Newswatch newspaper. We are with the Herald Tribune. The Herald Tribune newspaper this morning is also interested in rising cost of living. Trade unions threaten to down tools, give government tough conditions. And of course, conglomerates of trade unions and the civil society organization have said beginning February 15 until March 15, 2023, workers in the public and private sectors will observe work stopping on every Monday of the week should government not meet with certain conditions to ameliorate the current inflation rate witnessed in the country. Meeting over the weekend in Yaoundé, the conglomerates of the trade unions and civil society organizations from education sector, transport, the defense of consumer rights, defense of human rights, the fight and the promotion of interests of youth, as well as women of all suffering categories in Cameroon, analyzed the economic, social, and security context of the country. Full details on page 3 of this edition of the Herald Tribune newspaper. We end this morning with the Post. The Post newspaper is interested in the increase by 5.2% of civil servants' salaries in the country. This morning, the paper is bringing to us what an economist has said regarding the increase. Government's 5.2% salary increase is to mask price hikes and avert protests. Those were the words of the economist who spoke exclusively to the Post Weekender or the Post newspaper recently. Full details in this edition of the said newspaper. Thank you so much, televiewers of My Media Prime, for watching this edition or the major headlines of the newspapers this morning in the country. We are joined this morning by Amadou Tarnteh. Amadou Tarnteh is joining us to talk on some of those issues that the newspapers are raising this morning. Meantime, our line will be open for you to call and tell us what you think about some of those major headlines that the newspapers captured this morning. Amadou Tarnteh, good morning and welcome.
Good morning once more, Mr. Lasha. Good morning to Gwladys, and good morning to the telespectators of My Media Prime Television. I'm grateful to be here this morning once again.
Ok, Gwladys.
Effectivement, Amadou Tarnteh, nous commençons directement avec ce qui nous touche au quotidien. C'est le risque de la hausse du prix de transport au jour d'aujourd'hui. Avec la hausse du prix du carburant, le syndicat des transporteurs décrit le fait que le gouvernement camerounais ne les a pas consultés avant d'augmenter le prix du carburant.
Well, because I cannot really confirm the veracity of some of these things, because what I know is that on the communique that was written by came from the minister, from the Secretary General of the Prime Minister's office. I think he made it very clear there that the different syndicate has been consulted. Okay. So those are some of the signs to tell us that I know. What we know is that
what kind of syndicates were consulted?
No, what he's saying is because you must understand that in Cameroon here we have government syndicate and real syndicate, because that's often the case. Even with non-governmental organizations, civil society and all the rest, there are always some group that work with the government. Those that are answerable to government, everything that the government will say, they will always accept for their own personal interest, ignore the interest of the other syndicate or other Cameroonians. So it's very obvious that the government bench consulted their own syndicate, the syndicate that are loyal to the government, those that are not working with neutrality and impartiality.
Yeah. Donc à ce niveau-ci, peut-être les syndicats qui ont été convoqués, ces personnes-là qui se plaignent n'ont pas participé à cette réunion avec le gouvernement camerounais.
Absolutely, it's obvious that those that are complaining are the ones that were not part of the meeting, because somebody cannot be suffering the consequences of something like price of a petroleum product has been increased, and you are using petroleum product for the vehicles and all that, and they will obviously increase the price. It's very obvious for them.
Aujourd'hui, ils sont en train de dire qu'ils vont augmenter le prix du transport. On a vu les différents coûts et les différentes heures qui sont en train de vouloir appliquer. Mais déjà, depuis le 1er février, les Camerounais souffrent déjà de l'augmentation du prix du transport.
That is it. No, the issue is that they are saying that they want to do it officially. Okay. Normally, I think it was done unofficial, which is very normal. When the price of petrol increases, it's very obvious that the price of transportation will increase, and after that, the price of basic commodities that are using transportation, their vehicle transport will obviously increase, and so I will continue like that.
Est-ce que le gouvernement, en prenant cette décision, n'a pas pensé que c'est le Camerounais lambda qui va au finish supporter la charge de cette augmentation, ou bien c'est intentionnel que ce soit ainsi?
Well, I think our government is already aware of all these things, but one thing I used to say is that I don't think the way government has been doing things of late, I believe that our government does not even care about ordinary Cameroonians, because had it been they care about ordinary Cameroonians, they would have not been taking some decisions, knowing very well the impact on the ordinary citizens that have little or nothing to do, or that are earning very low salaries and have to spend a lot from their daily activities and for their feeding as well.
Amadou, nous sommes dans la ville de Douala et on connaît tous comment est-ce que le transport urbain se passe au Cameroun, ou particulièrement dans la ville de Douala. Ils sont en train de dire tantôt qu'on va passer de 250 francs à 300 francs en journée, et dans la nuit, on va passer de 300 francs à 400 francs pour une destination, et on connaît qu'à Douala, on paye la plupart du temps 2 destinations avant d'arriver où tu vas.
Well, that's the problem. That's so the consequences now will fall on the ordinary Cameroonians. But I don't blame these people, these transporters, because it's very normal for them to do what they are claiming to do, that they want to do. But the major people should be the government of Cameroon.
Où est-ce que les Camerounais vont prendre cet argument?
Cameroonians will live with no option than to do as usual. I think such thing has been happening regularly, but little or nothing seems to be done by Cameroonians. At least, so even Cameroonians who are afraid because of the barbarism of the regime in place to sometimes claims they are right, because it's very normal that when you see things like this, when there's something as such happen, at least it's normal for the population to at least come out to denounce such thing, tell the government of the republic that they are not comfortable with this thing, because this one will instead kept to frustrate them or to make life more difficult. Well, life has already been difficult for Cameroon, but this one is coming to make life more difficult or make Cameroon much more frustrated again.
Amadou Tarnteh, what is it that government needs to do to quench, or I don't know how to put it, to equalize the level of inflation that we have, so it could correspond or can correspond with the standard of living of Cameroonian prices going up every day, but the corresponding increase in salaries of 5.2%. What economists are saying that government just wanted to mask the price hikes as well as avert protest. What is it that government needs to do so that Cameroonians will not feel this inflation that they are already feeling?
I keep saying that I think that to the best of what I know about this thing is that at least the government will have increased the salary more than the percentage they have done, first of all, and equally make sure that the farmers those that are in the farm working for Cameroonians to feed Cameroonians. They should for the incentive to provide it to them free of charge, so as to encourage them to increase their product, and as well do everything possible to create more jobs for Cameroonians, those that do not have jobs, so that they can at least have something doing, maybe to be able to cope with some of this. Because the increase of price is something normal, because it's something that is happening virtually worldwide now. But the only problem now is that these different countries are doing everything possible to ameliorate the living condition of the people, either by increasing salary or by giving incentives to different private sectors, whether you're a businessman or entrepreneur. They do make sure that they encourage you in one way or the other, and all the rest to make sure that the citizens feel that they are in a state, let me say, a state of law, where the life of ordinary citizens is equally matters to the people or to the leaders.
Amadou Tarnteh, au Cameroun, on a plus de Camerounais qui travaillent dans le secteur privé, même que dans le secteur public, mais on a l'impression que ces mesures n'ont même pas été pensées pour ces employés-là du privé ou bien ces employeurs du secteur privé. Comment est-ce que cette partie-là, qui est même majoritaire au Cameroun, va s'en sortir?
That's the most difficult part of it, because I think
civil servants represent just, I don't know, a percentage of the total population. We are about 30 million Cameroonians, and we are not even up to 1 million civil servants.
That's some of the
so how do you touch a sector of the population that will not even have an impact?
Those are some of the kind of things that I think at least our government need to do everything possible to always the Ministry of Labour and Social Security should always dialogue with those of the private sector, make sure that they sit down and discuss, for them to tell them what is really happening, and the situation, and they need to equally hear the situation of Cameroon, either the employees, those that are employed, for them to know how things are going and do everything possible to make sure that they dialogue with these people, make sure that these people increase that, because for private sector to increase the salary of their workers, it's very obvious that government will reduce tax that is being paid to them, because or government will give them incentive so as to encourage them, because you cannot just ask somebody on the private sector to increase the salary of the workers when the government is doing nothing. Where are they going to take the money? Because these private sectors are paying very heavy sum of money to government in the name of tax.
Il faut rappeler que ce secteur privé-là est ce secteur qui emploie la majorité.
La majorité. Oui, bien sûr. C'est ça même le véritable problème que nous souffrons ici au Cameroun. Parce que c'est là même qu'on pense que le gouvernement camerounais doit faire tous les efforts. Parce qu'on dit qu'on a seulement monté le prix, le pourcentage pour les fonctionnaires le public. Donc ça ne veut dire rien, parce que le salon
de taking the minimum wage to
41,875, something like that.
Yes, is it not encouraging?
No, it is not encouraging given the current price hike of basic commodities in Cameroon. Because when somebody asks me,
they often say a bird in hand is worth more than two in the bush.
Well, that's what I said here last time. That was said first of all by encouraging or by thanking the government of Cameroon for taking that step forward. But what they need to know is that like Oliver Twist, we still need more. That one is not enough. We need more. At least this one cannot be able to feed Cameroonians. Because things are very expensive in Cameroon right away.
Parlons effectivement des choses qui sont tellement chères au Cameroun aujourd'hui, puisqu'on parle de la vie chère. Dans certains quartiers au Cameroun aujourd'hui, on vend un œuf à 100 francs CFA. On est passé de 60.
Certains quartiers, dans presque tous les quartiers ici à Douala.
Voilà, on est parti de 75 à 100 francs CFA, soit 25 francs ajoutés, sans que personne ne se soit rendu compte.
You see, and the cube of savon now, 350 grams, is sold at 400 francs CFA.
You see where some of these things are coming, because that's why I was saying that the government need to encourage the private sector, like for example those that are making this poultry, and the government need to encourage them either by giving them something anything that they know that will encourage them.
Sure, agriculture is already taking care of that.
But they only tell us on the media that that's what they are doing. In reality, most of them, even those that have benefited from such things, are those that are either close to these people or those that will go and give them bribes. Sometimes they say the government have given you, your name comes out that your name you have been given some of these things, and you go there to take it, they will not give you, except you collaborate with them to make sure that you give them some of the money.
Possible?
I'm telling you, that's what we have heard from some. Yes, that's what I've heard from some of these people, on the ground. Even some of these things that they say presidential benefit whatsoever for
universities.
I'm talking about those in the northwest and southwest region, because there are some things they say they are given to you to encourage youth. I saw some of my very close associates who told me that their names came out from those things. They asked them to go and open a bank account.
Good morning. Your name, please. Yes, your name. Where are you calling us from? Tell us where you are calling.
Yes, my name is Noel Tamnjong. I am calling from Bamenda.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining. Your contribution.
Yes, I want to look at this price increase of fuel. Yeah, the government should know that it has a multiplier effect, a serious multiplier effect on the economy. Fuel touches all aspects of the economy. If the price of fuel increases, even right to an infant will suffer the effect. That is why I'm referring to as the multiplier effect.
Yes.
The person who transports food from the village, from the rural areas, and brings it to town has to increase the price because the transportation has added to the cost of that. Then the common man who has little or nothing will not bear the consequences of this fuel increase. The government may think that he's taxing but those who use cars, but each and everyone, whether you are a pedestrian or not, you use fuel because the prices are, of food items, other items, basic necessities, and has an impact when fuel prices increase. Also considering that Cameroon has a very high dependency ratio. You see that even the 5.2% increase, which they think that they have added to civil servants who do not constitute even 3% of the total population of Cameroon, has no impact. So this price fuel, which has been increased, has a negative consequence on the population, on the lifestyle, the social lifestyle. Are you saying that
government did not take into consideration the suffering of the local population?
Because it has not been taken. It has not been taken. I've merely told you that the civil servants whom they think that they have increased 5.2%, have what percentage of Cameroon is made of civil servants?
No, the minimum wage also has been increased from 37,000 to 41.
To 41,000 something.
Yes.
It makes no difference, Mr. Lasha. Can you, if you are working in the private sector and they pay you for the 2,000, can you be able to meet up with your basic necessities in Douala there? Can you pay just your rent? You cannot even afford to pay the taxi to your job site and come back. No. So it means just nothing. That you see, the 5% is consequently just nothing, and the 42,000. An average Cameroonian.
So what is it that government needs to do? What is it that government needs to do?
Good.
We are talking solution. What is the solution?
Fuel price is it should make a commensurate increase in incomes and make it possible for the common man in rural areas to link good routes so that they can easily even transport at low cost their products to the market and sell. Because the common man is going to bear this burden too much.
If the economy is not moving, if like Cameroon, the economy is struggling, how would the government be able to achieve that with a struggling economy?
We have a lot of natural resources and we are endowed with these resources, and the government should ensure a proper use of it. If you find situations where few ministers accumulate amass billions in their houses, in their accounts and so on, if that money is put into perfect use, then we are going to emerge out of this mess, because the economy is not moving because of the government principles.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for contributing this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Lasha.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Amadou Tarnteh, you listen to the caller.
Yeah, I think the caller seems to be an economist. He made things, analyzing the things very clear. I think in very simple language, I think we all got what he said, and that's what I think is the reality on the field.
Okay.
Yeah. So concerning this issue, as we're talking on government giving incentives, I was also like citing an example of something they call presidential plan of reconstruction and all the rest. So they say there are some part of the program. They say they are giving some support to youth to start something doing in this region. So some guys complained to me that the person who is in charge, their name came out on the list. The person who is in charge called them, asked them to go and create an account at the same African Festival or something like that. They went and created those accounts. And up to date, some have been given the money, and others have not been given money, even more than 1 year after. When they keep calling, they call them, and the man say they are still waiting for to pay.
Those that have not benefited.
Those that
did not comply.
They complied. They did everything that these people said, but they realized that those that gave bribe has benefited already. Meanwhile, the other people are still there.
Good morning, sir. Your name? Where are you calling us from?
From Gaundere.
Thank you very much. How is Gaundere this morning?
No, Gaundere is good.
Okay.
Only the situation of the high petrol that have put it on.
Okay, your contribution. Can we hear from you?
I'm saying that all these things they are putting up price for petrol like that. The better is that they should take those money that are buying bullets and guns in Northwest and Southwest. Better to put on high price of petrol.
So you're saying Cameroon's money is being used to fund war in the Northwest?
Yes, Southwest. That would put up high. Let me say in pidgin. That means they take money where they take and buy bullets and guns. Better leave this thing for higher of petrol price.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for contributing.
I think this caller has just said the hard truth. So sometimes they say that the truth is always bitter and should be spoken. Because one of the greatest problems that Cameroon is facing because of the war in the Northwest and Southwest region, because the government has opted to continue the war.
Saying that they
use the money in fighting war and allow Cameroonians to be suffering.
Are you saying that the territorial integrity of the country should be compromised?
No, but there's possibility for them to seek a lasting solution to this issue. And this because it's something that no matter how long it would take, the government must sit down on the table and those that are fighting to seek for solution to the problem. Why not do it now? I see early and prevent some of these sufferings of Cameroonians. But when they are spending much more money that was supposed to be used in improving the living condition of Cameroonians, they prefer to spend it on the war. All the other Cameroonians are feeling the consequences. What we are going through now is part of the consequences of this the war that's going on. Meanwhile, the government has an option to end the war.
There's a global shock.
There's a
global shock as a result of Ukraine-Russian war and pressure coming from the International Monetary Fund.
Yeah, the pressure is coming from International Monetary Fund, as you are saying, but I think this pressure is not encouraging the government to use money that will be used to improve the living condition of Cameroonians to go and fight war. A war that can be prevented.
The other countries that are being mounted pressure, they are not at war as well.
They are not at war, and the living conditions in those countries are much more better than what we are going through here in Cameroon. That's the problem, because when we notice in most of these countries, realize that the living conditions are much more better than what Cameroonians are going through.
En réalité, Amadou Tarnteh, on a oublié en fait le fait que deux régions de ce pays ne fonctionnent carrément pas et forcément que l'économie de notre pays doit être embauchée.
What they are saying, they have ignored these two regions, is something that caught my attention because I went to almost all the newspapers this morning. I realized that there was no newspaper talking about what has happened recently in the Anglophone region. Meanwhile, just yesterday, just within all with the weekend and within the last week, there are so many things, human rights violation.
A human rights activist. So, from your finding, what happened in recent days? So
let me start, as I was saying, by making this observation by saying that the media seems to have limited the way they are reporting on these things, and those are the kind of things that are giving impression to the government or giving the government the opportunity to say that everything is under control. Because it's through these current publications that will call the attention of the national and international attention for those that are not in this region to know that what is really happening. Just recently, just last week, I think the gendarmes in Dog went to Bamuka, killed some 2 civilians, and burned some houses there. And apart from that one.
Right. On Friday, were you able to verify what you are saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's the facts. And on Friday, the separatist fighters who are in Bamising have blocked the road in Bamising between 3 regions, between Bamenda and Otunja division, Bui division, and Dongaman division. The road has been blocked for about 3 months today. About 2 months. It was blocked on the 27th of November. Up to today, the road is still being blocked. On Friday, some drivers
block. Are there trees?
When they say a block, it is blocked. No. What is there is that they don't use any object to block the road. It's just tools on social media. When you try, you know the consequences. Because people have been silent.
So are you saying that nobody has ever tried to go?
No, the only people that are passing those streets are those that with something like ambulance, those who have an emergency case of sickness and all the rest. But the military are passing the road all through the road without any problem. But on Friday, some drivers or some cargo driver decided to attempt to cross the road and see what will happen. But all the 3 vehicles were burned to ashes. So those are the kind of things that we are silent on. When we are silent on this kind of thing, the government will continue to say that everything is under control. Meanwhile, our Cameroonians are suffering. So many things. So the cars were born with a lot of properties in. There were so many food that were being transported up to Bamenda. The cars and the separatists decided to burn these things. So
they have to go to other regions and they pass through the west.
You have to pass through the west region. There are some other road that the people in Nob were using to pay 6,000-7,000 on bike to leave Nob to Bamenda. And either that they used to pay. They paid normally 2,000 from Nob to Bamenda. But later on, the separatist fighters within that area decided to block the road too. Why is the
situation of Bamenda different? We are not hearing such in the southwest region.
No, I remember at the beginning, the thing was more in the southwest region. But with time, even though for me, I have more information, more contact persons in the northwest region than in the southwest region. That is not happening in the southwest region because I don't have a lot of contact people in the southwest, people that can give me reliable information. But in the northwest region, we have so many people on different areas that give us information on what is happening. But in the southwest, things are still happening. but not the way it is being done in the northwest region. Because at the beginning, you can bear with me that it was much more in the southwest region, but later on around the line, he has pushed into the northwest region.
Tout ce que vous êtes en train de raconter, ça s'est passé juste la semaine prochaine.
Hello?
Can I say something right now?
Okay.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to the program. Your name, please. Your name. Where you are calling us from?
Good morning. Good morning.
Your name.
Yeah. Okay, my name is Akunatakapi.
Please, can you switch off your TV set and follow us directly from your mobile
I'm
phone?
going to switch it off, right?
Yes, right on. Your contribution.
Okay,
No time to waste.
down.
Your contribution.
Okay, my contribution is towards the economic crisis that is happening here in the country. Are you hearing me?
We are getting you. Move on.
Okay. Yes, because it's affecting us gradually. You know, based on what is happening on ground now in the country. Because when we say the fuel have increased price, it's not something that we're importing it in the country. We have the resources. Where the fuel will be increasing, we have to know why the thing increased. Are we lacking of bringing out the fuel issue? We don't understand. Because when Russia and Ukraine, they are fighting, they told us that foreign have increased. We will bear with those people. We know that we are not the producer of those things. Now, we increase the price of fuel, and the poor masses are suffering.
But the adjustment is
people to buy a liter of fuel for 800 or 750. We don't really know where we're heading to. This thing is really killing the spirit of the youth gradually.
okay. Thank you.
So, my brother, we have to do something about it. It's not something that will come on social media. After ranting on social media, we still come out and we tell asleep why they say.
What is the thing? What is the thing?
The youth to the world.
What is the thing that is supposed to be done, sir? What do you think should be done?
We know the cause of our problem. You people that are the head of it, you people know the cause of the problem. It's better for us to tell ourselves the truth.
Okay.
Right now, as I'm talking to you now, I was in the filling station and they told me that a liter of fuel is 800, 750.
Which filling station and where? Where? Which town?
In Pumbang, yes.
Okay, Noon Division.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So,
Thank you.
You people know the truth. The truth should not come out from us. You people that are the heads, you people know the truth. It's better for you people to collaborate with the oppressor and let us live our normal life than for chasing the poor masses. It's not normal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Your point.
So that's what I have to say for now.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Amadou Tarnteh.
Yeah, so we were talking about the recent happenings, in particularly in the Bomotonguina division of the Northwest region. But I made it very clear that last week 2 civilians were killed by the gendarmes in Dop, and yesterday in just within Babisi and the other Babisi subdivision, 3 separatists were equally killed by the same gendarme in Dop. And the 2 vehicles for belonging to the military were destroyed by these separatists. But as I said here on Friday, that the separatist fighters decided to burn 3 vehicles. 3 vehicles, I think it was pickup that were going toward Bamenda. They decided to burn this vehicle, telling them on a video that was circulating on social media. I think they made it very clear that they had earlier warned them that no one should cross the area. If they try to do such thing, you will bear the consequences. And they decided to burn this vehicle, remove the drivers inside the vehicle, and decided to burn the vehicle. So this kind of thing, audience in Cameroon are really suffering. Those that from the area are suffering. I mean, the route is the route linking 3 divisions in the northwest region. Linking to 3 divisions have been blocked for more than 2 months today. But little or nothing seems to be done. Initially, we heard that the council of Ndop said that they were transporting people. We always saw it on social media, but within the field, nothing was happening.
But there's a military base there, right?
Yes, that's exactly the reason why this group was blocked. The separatist fighters are claiming that they want the administrators to remove the military base there before the route can start passing, which is something we know is virtually impossible. So that's the demand of the separatists.
So it's a power tussle between the separatists.
It's really power tussle, but instead it's the ordinary population that are suffering because the defense and security forces
say they are protecting the local population from what they call La République in court. But at this time, blocking the route for 2 months. So where is the local population now?
That's why I said that some of these people, some of the things they are doing is really unreasonable, because it's unacceptable that separatists will go ahead and begin to destroy properties like this or block the route from the ordinary people. Because I said here that the military.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha.
Good morning. Your name, where you are calling us from?
It's Ivo. I'm calling from Yaoundé.
Yes.
Professor Akarpu Korong.
Yes.
I want to talk concerning this issue of fuel price increase. I tell you, the masses are really suffering because from what I experienced yesterday, I left from Yaoundé to Akono. The fare from Akono used to be 1,000. Then from Yaoundé to Ngumu is 700. But now, from Yaoundé to Ngumu is 1,000. Then from Yaoundé to Akono is 1,200. You carry anything, even if it is a handbag, you will pay. So it is really too much on the population. They said they have already added the price. I even asked the question. They asked petrol price to 100. You go add transport for 300 francs.
That's a multiplier effect. That's a multiplier effect of increasing fuel price.
But you put out there, you are like our voice. Please help us to talk to the government. It is not to go with the mouth down here.
Thank you. I hope the powers that be, they are listening to you. They've got your message. Thank you for calling. Amadou Tarnteh, just rapidly finish up with the point you were making.
Okay, so I was saying that it's true that what these people are doing is the ordinary citizens that are suffering. Because I said here that in the you used to pay 2,000 on the vehicle from to Bamenda, but now people are succeeding to pay 7,000 or 10,000 because we pass through the other route can pay 7,000 or 8,000, and the other two full man will pay almost more than 10,000 before you get to Ndo. So the ordinary citizens are the ones suffering the consequences of this thing. So I don't see any reason why the separatist fighters are blocking this route because the defense and security forces they move through the route without any problem all the time, without any problem. So meaning that the route has been blocked only for the ordinary citizens.
Peut-être il faudrait alors que la
So are you saying that they are collaborating with the separatists? How can they be moving along the route that has been blocked?
And nothing is
and they are not being attacked.
They are waiting for civilian, like what happened on Friday. On Friday that they decided to burn some vehicles that were.
Are you serious about what they are saying? That the soldiers they move along the route.
They move along the route, and there is a newly created military barrack just within the area.
What about the separatists? They also move along the route.
The separatists are there. So the separatists are around the area. So since the military came with those, the military, the newly session.
So where was the military yesterday when those vehicles were, or Friday when those vehicles were being burnt?
That is the question of $1,000 million that we are Cameroonians asking.
Donc peut-être il faudrait que à ce niveau, si les militaires, puisqu'ils ont accès à cette route, ils passent aussi avec les populations.
I thought that maybe for the civilians to protect the military would have maybe be standing throughout all the area, but the military cannot do it because what is there is that they only calculate these people to go and attack them. They know very well that if they stand, because yesterday as what I'm saying that happened within Bamsi subdivision yesterday, when the military attacked these people and they called nobody left his own camp and upon arriving there, even the military had to escape. Because they will only make sure that they calculate people, these separatists that to go and attack them. But when they are not, these separatists are surprise them.
Amadou, vous êtes en train de nous dire ici que la police camerounaise et les militaires camerounais ont peur d'un certain Nopiti?
Bien sûr, ils ont peur d'eux, même c'est comme si la même chose quand le militaire se prend Nopiti, lui-même il fuit aussi. Quand c'est toi-même qui viens. On connaît déjà, tu as bien calculé comment tu vas bien opérer, mais quand tu viens comme à midi, other person will have no choice than to run for his own life.
So what is the solution? What is the solution? What is the solution? Because the military cannot
win the war.
No, I'm not talking about winning. Leave the area. But the separatists who say the population will not.
No, I'm using the opportunity to pray to the separatist fighters at the Bamising to do everything possible to reopen this route to allow civilians to circulate free, while pleading on the government of Cameroon, which is the most important thing to embrace the Canada initiative.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. I want to ask you
your name first. Your name, please.
Activist is referring to.
Your name first, please. Your name, and where you are calling us from.
It's Augustine from Bamenda.
Yes. Mr. Augustine,
yes.
Move on.
It's quite unfortunate that after the separatists blocked the roads for about 2 months plus, and they decided to open it, but now the company commander for Bomotonguina ordered his own case that the road must be blocked. So when we put ourselves in the middle of the road, where are we? Where do the government really want the?
So what they are saying is that the company commander for
the separatists and the military fighting for the civilians to keep suffering. Because after blocking the road for 2-3 months, they come up to release it, and then the military comes in and says nobody should use the road. So I don't know this type of confusion in the whole country. So I don't know. It is high time to solve this problem for people to live well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Commandant de compagnie qui demande à ce que la route soit encore bloquée.
No, that's what is happening, because even the last time, recently when I left Sindop, we had to pass through Bamunka, Bafanji. I learned that even the route through there's a small bridge there, the bridge that our vehicle used to cross and go through Bambalang and Bafanji to
that's
the road
Bamunka Palace
was destroyed again recently by the same commandant. This is something he did about last year again. So he's saying that the separatist fighters are using that route to carry out on the activities. Well, it is true that along that stretch of road we have separatists all over. When we're passing there, we saw separatists all over. But that's not the reason why for the man to destroy a bridge that is being used by farmers and ordinary citizens who do not have even any choice that to pass through this route to go to Bavusam to go to Santa, pass through Santa in the west region in the Mezam to go back to Bamenda. So it's really penalizing the ordinary Cameroonian.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Your name, where you're calling us from?
I'm Prophet Gay from Yaoundé.
Yes, how is Yaoundé this morning?
No, Yaoundé is cool.
Okay.
The point is concerning the increase of the price of fuel. The increase of price of fuel is going to give birth to multiple increase of other areas that will affect the economic of the country. For example, I usually buy 10 bags of cement to my shop and I'll pay 2,000 francs. And yesterday, they charged me 4,000 francs for that same 2 bags.
100% increase.
100% increase. Meaning, I will not sell again at the normal rate that I will sell. And even a common man that is building a house will definitely increase the price of house rent as well. And those that even build their houses maybe in the year 2010 will also increase house rent without any increase affecting them in area of their building. Okay. Now, the solution of the government, so to me, is going for a dialogue, and it will reduce the cost of so many increase of prices, because the government spent not less than 100 million in 3 months based on the struggle, and it has been like this for the past 6 years. Adding the inflation of the prices of everything in Cameroon, it will affect the common man. Above all, my point of the government is that they should really go back at the dialogue table and settle that which is at the hand, which the Cameroonians are more looking forward for the settlement of the Northwest and the Southwest struggle. Above all, that's all that I can advise for the government and for a change of the better 2023. Because the president told us in his speech concerning petrol that's going to increase. And they play a logic by adding 5.2% for the civil servant. If a civil servant was paying 150 francs a day as transport fare, he will be paying 300 francs now. Times 30 days. You see that he's still working on deficit for the 5.2%. That's it, sir.
Thank you for contributing. Amadou Tarnteh, many people still worried about this increment. It's a scam on the population, 5.2% increase.
Of course,
it's a scam.
The people are really suffering because of this. Because I say the economy.
Transport has increased by 100%.
Of course.
Many people those who have called, they are talking about how the transporters have decided to increase
the price.
Et on voit dans certaines stations de service, au lieu de 725 francs, on parle de 800 francs.
Well, that's some of the problem. At least we need the government need to look into this issue and see that things are being addressed in a better way, in a way that will but will limit the suffering of our people. Because I think the one of the major objectives of a leader or the president of the country is to work for the betterment of the ordinary citizens, to better their life, to improve the living condition of ordinary Cameroonians.
Ok, Amadou Tarnteh, nous n'allons pas quitter ce plateau sans parler de l'affaire Martinez-Zogo qui brûle la toile, brûle le Cameroun.
Good morning in the studio. Good morning to all the participants.
Good morning, sir.
I am Haruna Muhammadu calling from the chieftain of Ndonga Mantunkambo.
Okay.
Yes, concerning the road to Kumbu and to Bamenda, there is a saying that when two elephants are fighting, the grasses will actually suffer. And it is actually affecting the population. We, the local, we are the ones facing big difficulty because it's really boiling back on us. There is no way, especially now in Kambe, for example, prices of basic commodities have skyrocketed automatically. We discover that as the increase of fuel has been there, prices from Kambe to Bafufan is expensive. So a tube of salmon in Kambe is obviously 400, 450 francs. Then red oil that is normally we harvest it from Afro subdivision in Kambe has gone up to 1,000 francs. A bucket of rice has equally gone up to 10,000 francs. And you discover that gari, that is a normal thing that we are producing here, has even stepped up to 7,000 francs. This is actually telling us that this increment in price of fuel, the road blockage, in fact, Ndonga Mantung, despite the fact that we are actually enjoying the relative peace granted to us by God, but indeed we are actually suffering because the prices of basic commodities are actually going up. Take, for example, the increment of salary 5.2%. For me, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's very, very useless because, look, for example, if you're earning 100,000 francs and they increase 5.2% to your salary, it means you are earning 5,200 per day. Can 5,200 francs cost for your transportation to your job site? Can it subsidize the price of basic commodities in the market? Let us be realistic. Other countries are increasing 30%. We are talking of 5.2. It is not realistic. Let us really come on the drawing board, reflect like Cameroonians, which we want peace to end, which we want progress and growth to be, and think of a better future to better the situation of our own country, because actually it is not going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for contributing. Amadou Tarnteh, we are almost out of time. Your last contribution before we leave.
Well, there's something
some of those issues.
I thought we were going to talk about. I thought it was very, very important. So,
yes.
like what happened in Fumba, in Magwa, in
yes.
the noon division. I think let me start as say that by condemning such a barbaric and inhuman act that was subjected on the king of Magwa by the guards of the Sultan of Bamun. So I saw this issue, when I look at this issue, it was very frustrating. I think it's equally a desecration of our tradition. To me, I look at it in three different ways. I started by looking it in the sense that when people are talking about traditional issue, it's true. And in the international perspective, I've read and I've listened, and I've listened to very influential people who have better knowledge on these traditional issues. And they have made it very clear that despite everything, because what happened was simply because I said the front of the Sultan of Bamun was called by the chief of Magba, my son. So that's why they say it's a problem. Even though those that have better knowledge of the tradition are saying that it's a normal thing for the front of Magba to call this one.
No, take into consideration that the Bamun people are descendants of
from Tikari. Yes, that's what they are saying.
Was it not also natural and normal for, you know, the king of Magwa to refer to the Sultan as mon fils?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
historically, shouldn't have been a problem.
That's what I'm saying, because I said I've read and listened to those who have better knowledge on this traditional issue, and they have confirmed that it's normal for him to call the front of the Sultan of Bamun that way. But looking at it in the legal perspective, it's really accumulating a barbaric act that all those that are involved in this issue and not normally to be arrested and prosecuted. But I don't see any reason.
The Sultan was there, which means that
he
gave his approval.
Yes, he approved. And this one is really frustrating to me, because I've been here all the time advocating for youth leadership in Cameroon. If a young man like the Sultan of Bamun, can accept such thing to happen in his presence, it's really frustrating. Those of us advocating for youth leadership means that even those few youth that are in leadership position in Cameroon are a very big failure. And if they continue like this, it will give a very bad impression to the youth. It's already no matter whatsoever. Even if it was not normal for the front of Magba to call him mon fils, I think there are still reasonable ways of addressing this issue without violence. Because I really appreciate, I commend the people of Magba for their sense of maturity, because what they did was very matured. on their own side, because had it been this way with that violence, even before the coming of the people of Bamun to Magba, they would have even finished with all these, all these people, including the phone. Just imagine in their own palace, in the palace, you humiliate the phone as such, make the phone to sit down.
Artifacts were destroyed.
Artifacts were destroyed. Even houses, house was burned, and chairs and other properties were equally destroyed. And the vehicle of the phone of Magba too was destroyed. But that notwithstanding, we are always praying for peace and say that violence is not a right way of solving problem. And I thank the GO for the subdivision for a release signed recently saying that he has suspended the tow of the foreman in the Magba subdivision while waiting for a security meeting.
Now, no official statement of apparently, let me call it, apology has come from the Sultan.
Nothing has come from the Sultan yet, but normally I expect the Sultan of Bamun to openly come out to apologize for this act. It's really unreasonable. We give him a very bad image, especially as a young leader, as I'm saying. We will give him, the Sultan, a very bad image. At least we should. We are all human, so doing such thing to somebody in his own compound, to not let's forget about the fact that he's the high, it should be the whosoever is the hierarchy and whatsoever it may be. Because and think about the fact that we are all human and bound by the same law and the same everything. Whether you are a sultan or whosoever, you are minister or president, you are bound by the same republican law. Because you are in republican, whether it's a tradition saying that this one is a superior to this, but when there is a law in the country, make everybody equal and no one to be above that law.
Thank you, Amadou Tarnteh, for coming. Thank you, Gwladys, Bomotonguina. Thank you to televiewers on My Media Prime for watching this other edition of the program, the very first for the week, produced for us by Christain Tebong. We are Gwladys, Bomotonguina, and myself, Lasha, wishing you a great week ahead. Bye-bye for now.